Alright, yo, what up? This is your all shook up. Just gonna talk about the new what do they call it? Subclassing skills, or not skills, but like the way the new stuff is gonna go. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to thank everyone for all the support. I can't thank you guys enough. I do live stream Sundays and Tuesdays, literally no matter what. This is a gameplay. I just bodied that guy. Holy moly! This is a gameplay. I go 27-0. Nothing special, just some clips or just a game to talk over. Look at that. 4 kills. Let's go. Or was that 5? Oh, that's 4. But excuse me. But what I want to talk about was, the new subclassing. There's going to be massive changes to PvP because of that. But it's the subclassing, the whole situation. Obviously, it happened yesterday. I'm trying to get this video out on Friday, which I'm making it today, but I'll probably release on Friday because got work, real busy. But the way I like to make videos is more like a conversation. So like right now, we're gonna have a conversation. My first thoughts on it. What do I think about this, and what do I, how do I say, what's my perception on what there is about to occur. I'm gonna do a more in-depth video, kind of breaking down what the changes are gonna be and how everything's gonna be. But right now, it's just my first thoughts. I just heard it while I was at work. I figured, I do make content on ESO, so I figured I'd give my opinion on what my first initial thoughts are. The good news is I can identify as whatever I want now. So no, I'm just messing with you. So that means you're gonna call me the Jabdin. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really see. Here's the thing. Here's one of the main. So this game, what makes it unique is that there are classes. There is a separation between each class. So for instance, I personally love Warden, right? I really wouldn't want to be able to have a Nightblade skill on my Warden. It would be nice, but then what you're essentially doing is taking away classes. What makes this game unique? Now, is that how it's going to play out? I don't know. Is that how it sounded? Yes. Personally, it sounds like they're going to pretty much get rid of classes, and then it's just going to be a bunch of skills you could put together, for your build. So, like, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. They're going to probably keep updating it. Is it a bad thing or is it a good thing? You guys let me know. I'm still confused on exactly what's going to happen, but I like to give my first initial thoughts, and then later when it all said and done, I could say, well, this was terrible or this was good. With that said, personally, the one thing that I don't like is that, I wasted money, farming, getting certain skills on certain things and, time. So you're pretty much just, why didn't you just tell me you were going to do this to begin with? I didn't. You can't make massive changes like this to the game and not compensate me. So there must be a month free of ESO Plus. There must be a bunch of free stuff that I'm going to get with all these changes. I didn't go and spend money on Sigic Order to get it on my Dragon Knight, farm it on my Warden, but then once you get level 10, you can pay money to get on, when I could have just used the Dragon Knight skill. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's different, like, I don't think anybody's thinking about that, but I think I always think about the money side because I'm just a worker. I make a good living, and anytime I do something, or anytime I think of the aspect of what did I spend, how much money have I spent, how much time, because time is money. What have I done? If I would have essentially known that you guys were it's like, how to explain it? If Call of Duty all of a sudden said, you know what? In the middle of their game, not making a new game. Like if they made a new game and that's how the game was going to be, that's fine. But make a complete, like, okay, from now on, we're not using guns. We're using swords only. Like, I know they have melee weapons, but you're not even going to use a weapon. You're just going to use swords, and you guys are going to fight each other. And that's the way it's going to be. It's like, that's a drastic change. So when you're changing the fact that this is gonna no longer be a class-based game where you have a class, he has a class, and you're gonna integrate classes. What you're essentially doing is you're taking away the whole class thing. Like, I like Warden, he likes Templar, he likes Nightblade. You're essentially taking that away. Like, it's not that it's going to be bad, because a lot of PvPers like myself are just going to get the best stuff and destroy people anyway. It's that I didn't want to be a sword warden. I wanted to just be a warden. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be both. I wanted to be one. And if you came up with a skill that's similar to what the sword has, then that's different. And even then, I didn't really like the scribe skill situation. Till this day, I wasn't a big fan. That's why it took me so long to learn it. And one scribe skill, and this is why I didn't really want to learn it. This is why I didn't really want it, because now I'm starting to learn what the broken scribe skills are. So what's going to essentially happen is, in my opinion, we're going to have a bunch of people running around here with fully, Nightblade with beetles. That's all they were missing. Like, and Northern Storm. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. Or Betty. Like, Betty is going to be like one of the most used skills because it's a free cleanse. There is just too much, it's going to be real interesting. That's for sure. I just don't see, I don't know how they're going to do it. That's why it's my first impression, should I say. First impression on the new, well, it's not my impression because I haven't seen it, but my first thoughts. So, I think it's going to be interesting. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a good thing. PvE, it doesn't matter. I don't really care about that. PvE is you can do whatever you want. There's no competitive. There's no we did a dungeon together, big deal. But when it comes to PvP, it's like there's a reason that excuse me, my allergies are acting up. There's a reason that we've always had this class-based stuff, is so things don't get out of hand. And then also, I haven't even touched on the Cyrodiil performance. What kind of performance? We already have terrible performance. Now, are they going to fix that? I can't really tell you yes or no. They kind of just barely touched on it. They didn't really say too much. You know what I mean? They kind of just was like, I don't really care. And so, I don't necessarily know if I agree with their approach. So really the future of PvP, the new system that's going to be in play, I'm really curious of what is going to go on here and how this is going to tend to work out, because I just don't see it being like, you can't have a ward. You can't have everybody run around with beetles. That's why I use Warden, because they don't have that, right? They don't have that burst. They don't have that, you can get Dizzy Swing, but Dizzy Swing not necessarily works well with it. Because then all I'm going to do is on my Dragon Knight, I'm just going to use Beetles, Dizzy Swing, and, do I get the skill line? There's a lot. That's why I'm hesitant to make this video. But at the same time, I just kind of wanted to give you my first thoughts on it. What do I think? While you guys watch me just body people, bro. I was in this game. I was literally just destroying fools. That's how I went 27-0. It was just a bloodbath. But that's the thing is it's really hard to say without actually seeing it, without actually it being here. But at least I can give my first thoughts. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? My thought is it's going to be different. I don't know about necessarily like bad, but it could possibly turn out to be a bad thing for PvP. Just because I don't know if... So if you could only have one skill line, right? From... Let's say you got the skill line from Sork with Streak. So what do I get? I have to give up a skill line, right? So that's where it's not too bad of an idea because you have to give up something to get something, so you're not really making the most broken. Because how well is Sork's passives gonna work with, you know what I mean? So there's a lot to really factor in here. I don't necessarily know if, you know, the way the game is designed, you know, I feel like Dragon Knight and Warden and Necro are similar. Templar, Sork and Nightblade. Nightblade is almost a class of its own. I mean, what passes are you gonna really want on? I mean, I guess Sork and Nightblade are gonna be a real good combo. Necro and Warden, Templar and Warden, Dragon Knight. Warden's gonna be pretty good with everything except, I would say, Nightblade, even though that's what I want to identify as a Nightblade Warden, just so I can go invisible and go wherever I want. But on a serious note, I truly am skeptical about this. I really want everything to, you know, work out and the, you know, best for ESO, because I love this game. I can't really guarantee that it's going to be bad or good. It's really just wait and see, but I'd rather give my first thoughts on it just to, you know, get that out of the way, kind of, you know, vent, rant, whatever you want to call it. But let me know your guys' opinion. You know, that's what I really made this channel for, is to kind of, you know, see what other people have to say, because at the end of the day, we all play this game. You know, you guys make up a huge part of the game. There's a lot of people that play this still. I mean, there was like 50,000. I think it was like 48, or if I took a snapshot, I think it was close to 50,000 people watching, which was just blew my mind that there was that many people interested in ESO. So, you know, it kind of worked out. But at the end of the day, I hope everything goes well for you. So I definitely love this game. Definitely want to see things work out. So I appreciate all you guys' support. If you guys have any comments, leave them in the comment section. Like I said, can't thank you guys enough. And alrighty, take it easy. Out.